Coming up with those, thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again, San Jose, California. Today is July 4th, so happy July 4th to all you guys. Thank you, America, for being a great country, even though everything's in shambles right now. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Biden. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the saddlebags. You guys can see these are the Amazon. People have claimed that these are probably the same as the Essentials. I really don't know. You have the Essentials V2. They have a new version. So I'm guessing these are the V1s. If these are trash and supply, I'm not entirely sure. But the saddlebags are handling just fine. I'm actually really impressed with the overall look. I've been getting messages on Instagram and on TikTok. Hey, how are you using these without the what is this called, the over the fender strap? They're still in there. If you guys seen my install video, you guys obviously know there's L brackets that are holding these together, and it's solid, guys. I know it moves a little bit, but they're narrow, and I've been looking at them while I ride. They don't flop, they don't move, they don't do anything, so they're pretty stable. Like I said, I'm really quite surprised, and it improves the overall look. Not having the straps over the rear fender, I've never been a fan of that type of style of saddlebags. I like them hard mounted, and I like, you know, just how clean it is. And of course, you could always adjust these. You can move them up a little bit taller. I've already mentioned this in the install video, so if you guys are wondering, check out the install video. It's L brackets. I just had to drill out the holes a little bit more, and there's molly straps on the inside of these. You guys can see there's molly straps. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but there's molly straps there, and that's what's holding the saddlebag. So cheap, $100 for the saddlebags, and $7 for the L brackets. And you have, I think there's like 10 of them, so you could always do some DIY stuff around the house. You could install some floating shelves or whatnot, and you could use it. So check out the install video, guys. Check them out. But anyways, back on topic with the saddlebags. Like I said, they're good. All right, I like them. Some benefits, of course, the price. Yeah, they're $100, so they are a little bit pricey. But you know, for the price, and mainly just for the cost, because if you have a paint job like this, or if you want them paint matched, that's going to cost you extra. So if you get, of course, hard saddlebags, kind of like Viking or Harley-Davidson or anything, or like the other ones that I do have, you're probably going to want to paint match them. Like I said, I really don't know, depending on what kind of bike you have. Maybe you have a vivid black and you don't have to paint match them, then that's probably an option. Let's start with the cons, I guess. The cons, of course, because I'm kind of all over this place with these videos. These aren't scripted, so I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, because my GoPro 12 will overheat if I'm not riding. So the cons, of course, is if you don't have the L bracket like I do, then you have to put this on underneath the seat and over your fender. It scratches your paint. I'm not a huge fan of that. Like I said, that's, you know, one of the cons. Con number two, well, anyways, over time, and depending on where you live, because I've been told that in Texas it's far worse. These are going to fade over time. I've seen some leather pros that look pretty harsh. You know, if you leave them outdoors for long periods of time. Like I said, if you guys see my videos, I typically carry a blanket so I could cover up my seat and my leather pros. These ones, I haven't really been taking care of them as much, but they're holding up pretty good. But you know, over time, maybe within a year or 2 years, depending, of course, on your riding, and if you keep your bike outside, these will start to fade. They'll turn purple, and then they'll turn white. It is a canvas. It's a fabric. It's not, you know, leather or, like I said, a hard shell. So the paint or the black will start to fade in about a year or two, depending on, like I said, your riding and all that other stuff, and how you take care of these. Of course, you guys can see the video where I applied some UV protectant, but you know, that's only going to do so much. All right, so eventually they will fade, and maybe you'll have to, you know, buy another set if you, of course, if you don't mind the way they look after a year or two. All right, so that's $100. Con number 3, of course, you can't lock these. These are always open. You guys can see the straps, of course. You can't, I mean, I guess you could probably put like a little luggage rack on there, like, I mean, a luggage lock on there like this. But of course, these are fabric. You could just cut them. Typically, if people want to break into your saddlebags, they will. I've had people stolen stuff out of my other bags. They had locks, but I never kept them locked. And then out of my Vikings, they actually broke those locks. I mean, if people want to get into them, they will. So there's that. And that's pretty much the cons, I think. As far as, you know, the finish, because they're going to fade, and the locking capabilities, I guess. That's another con, you know. I think that's pretty much it. And like I said, if you don't have the hard bracket like I do, I really hate the look of having the strap over the rear fender. That's just me. Like I said, that depends entirely on to you. And I've noticed some of the other riders, because they don't have a bottom strap at the bottom, you know, they're like this. I don't like that stuff. I want them straight. I want them even. I want them narrow. I want a tight gap between the fender and the saddlebag. That's just me. All right. Like I said, that depends entirely on you. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the pros of, you know, these bags. Pro number 1, the price. Like I said, they're $100. You will not have to paint match them. You know, that would be your pro number 2. You don't have to paint match them because they look pretty good. You know, I believe they look good the way it sits, you know, with the bike. I don't mind that they're not paint matched, because you can't paint these. They're canvas. They're you know, you can't paint this stuff. So I think they look pretty good the way they sit. So pro number 2 is you know, not having to do additional work as far as painting them and getting them prepped and stuff like that, or sending them to your painter, stuff like that. The bags look pretty good. Pro number 3, they're water resistant. They're not waterproof. All right, they are water resistant. You can see they have a little sleeve on the top, so you could cover up the zippers, and these zippers are also weatherproof zippers. You guys can see, you know, both of them. So they're not, I guess that could be a con. They're not waterproof. They're weather resistant. They're, you know, they'll resist a little bit of rain. All right, they're not gonna leak entirely, but I've always mentioned in my previous videos, if you're expecting rain or heavy amounts of rain, get a plastic bag, put your stuff in there, and then put that plastic bag inside of your saddlebags, and you should be relatively pretty good. All right, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Pro number 3, depending of course on the other options that you're looking at, you have the high vis interior, so you'll be able to see what's inside your saddlebag in case, you know, you're digging through stuff, or you have a ton of stuff in here. That would be another pro, I guess. I went to Harbor Freight and I bought some stuff, and I placed them inside. And I guess another pro is you'll have these double zippers. I like having the double zippers because you don't have to dig or look for the zipper itself, because sometimes you could have it over here, you can have it in the back. If you just remember to always put them in the middle, you'll have both of them. All right. And another pro of having them mounted the way I do is, you know, you guys can see how they're pretty, you know, they're pretty rigid with the L brackets. They don't move a lot. I wonder, they're doing some construction. I wonder with the over the fender strap, if that's going to move a lot when you're trying to get into your saddlebags. But the way I have them set up with the L bracket, you can see that they stay pretty put in its place. So you don't have to worry about doing this stuff where you're trying to, you know, stabilize the saddlebag and opening and stuff like that. You don't have to stabilize the saddlebag with the L brackets. There was another con that I just thought about right now, and I completely forgot what I was going to say. There was another con that just popped into my head right now. So that's a pro, you know, with my L bracket, the stability. What was it? Maybe it'll come. Maybe I'll think of it once it comes around to my head. What was it? I can't remember. Something. And of course, you always have the molly straps on the outside. I would say that's another pro. You could strap whatever you want onto these. You could, you could add additional baggage. You have molly straps on the back. You have that expandability of placing like a fuel reserve over here, or placing some tools or whatever. You have all of this stuff, all of this extra slots and molly straps for you to add additional compartments to the saddlebags. Let's go ahead and look at it on this side. You guys can see they look good. I don't know, you guys can let me know in the comments. My brother's never been a fan of the canvas bags. He always tells me, he's like, man, you got to get some paint match saddlebags, because I don't know, it really depends on the person. I think they look good. Like I said, with those cons, you guys can let me know in the comments, is that a deal breaker for you, not being able to lock up your saddlebags? Maybe, not having them paint matched, or maybe the canvas, maybe that's not your thing. I really believe they look pretty good. They do have a hard outer shell, so they do maintain their shape even though they're empty. You guys can see they're empty, but they have like a vinyl shell. I don't think it's a cardboard, because it's too soft, but it's like a vinyl, like a hard vinyl shell on the outside, and they retain their shape. You guys can see how nice they look. They don't sag like the other ones, or they don't look like people have mentioned, the leather pros. They look like ball sacks. But yeah, they retain their size and stuff like that, their shape. I really like them. It's just that they just don't hold the capacity. It's just not there for me. It's just not there for me. All right, so that's what I was getting into as far as the con. The reason why I'm switching them over to my hard shell. And the reason it's just the capacity is just not there for me. I could fit maybe a sweater and maybe like a drink or something like that, and that's pretty much it. I can't really fit much in these, even though I have two. I just like being able to have more capacity, and that's my one issue. Leather pros, you have a ton of capacity. You could put all kinds of stuff in them. I mean, we're talking about probably full-size helmets once you expand the leather pros. These ones, it's just like I said, you could probably put like 3 energy drinks in here, probably 3. Yeah, I would say maybe you could put four, maybe like 2 tall cans. You could probably put 2 tall cans in here if that's what you're doing. It's just like I said, the capacity is just not there. I ride to work, I commute to work, of course, and by the time I load my sweater in there, they're pretty much full. And as far as my equipment, as far as camera bags and motovlogging stuff, I really don't have that much space. So I'm gonna be switching them over to my hard saddlebags. I already painted them, so we'll see how that's gonna handle for a little bit. And then depending on that, I might switch back to these, or might not. They're not a quick detach system, unfortunately, where I can swap in between. That'd be nice if I could figure something out where I could utilize both the hard bags and these ones, because I do like these. It's just the capacity is not quite there for me. And the camera bag's a big one, because that's the stuff that I do carry with me quite often. And having the ability of putting the camera bag in my saddlebag it's a big one, because I don't want to wear it on me. I don't want to have it on my body. I just don't. So there it is. You guys can let me know in the comments. Locking capabilities, capacity, like that should have been one of the con ones at the beginning of the video. Maybe that's what I was thinking about. And depending on the look, it really depends on you. I think these look good. One of the pros before we sign off and stuff like that is the weight of these saddlebags is minimal. We're talking, man, I really doubt they're like 16 ounces or a pound. I doubt it. With the bracket and this, maybe combined, maybe it's about maybe a pound and a half, or maybe 2 pounds. I'm saying, the max. The max, maybe they're about 2 pounds with the bracket itself. I mean, they're super light. That would be one of the huge, pros is the weight of the saddlebag. It's just when they're empty, they don't weigh anything. All right, so it doesn't alter the feel of the bike. My Leather Pros, they weigh 40 pounds, I believe, when they're empty. 40 pounds, because if I remember right, they're 20 pounds each on the Leather Pros, because you have the locking mechanism. It's rigid, it's hard, you know, it's heavy duty. This is not a comparison video, but I'm just using stuff off of, you know, what I know and experience. These weigh nothing. So if you want to keep your bike light, you know, this is it. This is it for you. This would be the lightest, and it'd be, of course, you know, giving you a little bit of capacity to put your hat in there if you have a hat, maybe a couple shirts, maybe 2 sweaters if you really, you know, squeeze them in there. If you're like a size medium or a large, you could probably put about maybe 2 sweaters in there. I guess it just depends on that stuff. Could it be a day tripper? Maybe, if you're wearing the same clothes. I do have, of course, a swing arm saddlebag or swing arm bag, and I have my my Moto handlebar bag, of course. But as far as capacity, I just need a little bit more. So we're going to be switching over to the hard saddlebags, and that's pretty much it. I say those are the 3 reasons why you want these saddlebags. You know, budget, weight, and what was that third one? Weight. Weight is a huge one, guys. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching yet another video. You guys can check out the bike, of course. Little step back with the FX LRSTs. This is a Sportster, of course. You guys haven't noticed. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.